The sacred blood fox king didn't even move when seeing the arrow approach. It even showed contempt in its eyes. But soon, the fox king was aghast. That arrow was not meant for the fox king, but a bean-sized eye of a golden rockworm. Although the golden rockworm had a huge body, its eyes were as small as beans and hidden in its stone-hard shell, hardly noticeable. Hensane not only saw them, but also managed to shoot an arrow in one of them. With a scream, the golden rockworm rampaged toward Hossein, who was in the air. The sacred blood fox king had extremely high intelligence, but golden rockworm solely operated on instincts. Once it was provoked, it would go mad. It was too late for the fox king to stop it, so it jumped off the worm with its injured leg as fast as it could before the worm fell off a cliff. Wang Mengmeng was held in Hossein's arms and took back the bear. She felt she was falling with him. With a sudden jerk, she felt ground under her feet. The impact was not that strong though. It was as if they had jumped from somewhere 3 or 4 feet above the ground. Wang Mengmeng opened her eyes in surprise to find they were under a cliff more than 300 feet high. But nothing had happened to Hossein and her. When she was feeling incredible, the golden rockworm fell on a ground next to them like a bomb. With a boom, its stone-hard shell was broken in pieces. Worm juice, meat and inner parts were splashing everywhere, staining the cliff wall. Sacred blood golden rockworm king killed. Beast soul of golden rockworm king gained. Eat its meat to gain 0 to 10 sacred geno points randomly. A wonderful voice rang in his mind, almost making Hossein laugh out loud. The fox king was still lingering on the cliff, gazing at him full of resentment. Let's go. Hossein summoned his mutant three-eyed beast Mount M, carried Wang to its back, and went in the opposite direction of a fox king. Should we take some of the worm meat with us? Wang Mengmeng asked. For such a big worm, there are only 10 geno points in its meat. Even if we eat for a month, we might still end up with no geno points. Also, it is hot in here and the meat will go bad in less than 2 days. Just forget it, Hossein said with a smile. A creature too big in size was hard to consume, which was just a fact. But he had gained another sacred blood beast soul and a mutant horned sandfox beast soul, so the voyage was fruitful enough. The only pity was that although he had killed many mutant horned sand foxes and a sacred blood creature, he did not even get to eat a mouthful of meat. Hossein took a look at the 2 beast souls he just gained and felt a bit bitter. The beast soul of mutant horned sandfox was a mount, which was fine. Even if he had no use of it, he could still exchange it for something else or just sell it. The disturbing part was the beast soul of the golden rockworm king. It turned out to be a sacred blood beast soul pet. Hossein had been feeding Meowth for quite some time now, but it never transformed. This was a sacred blood pet, and God knows how much meat it would take for it to transform. And a sacred blood pet must be fed with a sacred blood meat, or else it would take even longer. Hossein was rendered speechless. He did not even have enough sacred blood meat for himself. Just where could he find food for this guy? Hossein tried to summon the golden rockworm king and thought it should be huge. When it appeared, Hossein saw that it was just a mini golden silk worm, not looking the least impressive. Brother Ha, why were we safe after jumping from the high cliff? Quote. Wang Mengmeng had been puzzled. When they jumped off the cliff, she was too scared to open her eyes and did not see how they landed. In fact, Even if she did not close her eyes, Hasain was covering them. Anyway, he did it so that he could use the wings of the purple-winged dragon. Beast soul. Or it could never have been done. Because I know a special martial art. Hasain smiled. What kind of martial art? Can you teach me? Wang Mengmeng looked at him with worship. It only runs in the family and only sons can be taught, so I can't even teach my wife and daughter, let alone you. Hasain laughed. Hasain did not go back and try to kill the sacred blood fox king. It was a sly creature. In the end, it did not escape but stood on the cliff. Hasain knew from its look that it was trying to lure Hasain back to kill it. If he was alone, he could give it a try. But since Wang Mengmeng was here, he gave up the idea of adventure. That fox king was the most cunning of creature he had ever seen, even more formidable than the silver bird. With this accident, the voyage had to stop. When Hasain and Wang Mengmeng were on their way back to the shelter, they met Gambler and the rest. They were all well with minor injuries which had almost healed. After some discussion, they did some hunting in the outskirts of a desert and did not go to the center. They had met scary sacred blood creatures when they just entered Devil Desert. The team became more careful, especially they had to protect Wang Mengmeng in the meantime. Hasain made up his mind to return as soon as they could, and he will make some in-depth exploration next time he came alone. This task was successfully completed despite the accident. Qin Shan was fairly satisfied with his performance. Because Wang Mengmeng worshipped Hasain very much and named him her protector in steel armor shelter, he could have an S-class license of Saint Hall as his reward. But his mission would be only completed when Wang Mengmeng had maxed out on all other 3 types of Geno points than sacred Geno points. Only by then he could have the S-class license. Hasain went back to school from God's sanctuary and continued to study Warframe operation. Sain, you are finally back. You are in trouble, his roommates said to him excitedly when Hasain just returned to his dormitory. What kind of trouble? Hasain asked puzzled. The best player in Hand of God Society Li Yufeng openly challenged you in campus community, Shi Jikang said. I do not know him. Why would he challenge me? Hasain felt quite puzzled. Ha, everyone knows Li Yufeng is Ji Yanran's suitor. And with your ID name, the entire school now knows you as Ji Yanran's boyfriend. Of course Li Yufeng needs to challenge you. He said if you lose, you need to change your ID name or stop using that account, and you will also have to apologize to Ji Yanran, said Lu Meng with a trace of joy in his voice.